naturally seeing a reaction from the American people against what Donald Trump is doing.
And I believe progressives can do two things at once. We can. One, focus on that optimistic economic agenda and what needs to be done there. And then secondly, protect our democracy. When you look at visceral reactions, I'd look at the election of Doug Jones in Alabama, okay? That's a visceral reaction to what were the politics of that time. When you look at Conor Lamb's victory, when you look at my favorite one, the New Jersey legislator who went down, who after the Women's March, the day of the Women's March, said, well, I hope they're going to be home in time to make dinner. He got beaten by a woman, okay? So I just, while I give people that moment to wallow in what's happening right now, I don't have time to wallow. We need to move forward, and the way you move forward is emphasizing these economic issues and how people are getting screwed by all kinds of things, and AT&T's giving $600,000 to some lawyer to advise them on the deal. You see consolidations all over this country, and that's what people is on their head, is what's happening to them with their cost of college, or what's happening, how does that tax bill affect them. Those are things that's going to be on their minds. Healthcare premiums, those things. I'm well aware of that. They're not asking me about Russian bots, okay? They're asking me about like soybean exports. I mean, this is a true story. I've spent days in rural part of our state. But all of that doesn't mean that we just ignore this assault on our democracy. And I just believe we can do both. And the way it feeds into elections in my state is people believe in some level of civility and norms. And they don't like this stuff that he's tweeting out. They don't like how he beats up on innocent people, and they are going to stand up against that. And I think that's what you've seen in the elections, and that's what you're going to see in this election. But we're not going to see it if we spend our whole time bemoaning the fact that he's there. He's there, and we have to present an alternative. Sure that we're doing everything we can support candidates like Tammy and Heidi and Claire and Debbie. We have all these incredibly strong women, Tina in my state, that are up in the Midwest. We could literally lose about a third of the women in the Senate if we don't win this election. So when I look at those women and I look at people like Joe Donnelly and others that are standing up in their state, they every single morning have to wake up and ask these questions that you've been asking us today. And they have got to focus on what their citizens think, and that what they want to hear about is the economy and their plans for it. They don't want to hear about Donald Trump every single minute. I'm telling you right now, that's not what they want to hear about. So I think we just have to remember that, and that those of us who are in the positions, like Ted and myself, who are on those committees, who have to protect this rule of law, I promise you we are doing everything we can every day to do it. But at the same time, we as progressives and in the Democratic Party have to move this country forward. So we resist, but we also insist on a better way forward.
All right.